Don.
What's going on, Jesse?
I'm pretty excited for this test today.
Well, you should be. This is great. And first of all, thanks for joining me here at our Harvey Performance Innovation Lab.
I know last time we did a test like this, we were down in our lab in Tallinn, Connecticut. So really cool to be up here in Maine. Really neat facility here. You guys are actually making the tools here. So
this is pretty impressive. This is where we kind of do all of our innovation for all the Harvey Performance tools, mainly helical.
Okay.
But the guys in this lab test everything out, use the equipment to make sure our geometries are spot on, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun here.
So I know we've got some 8x8 blocks of titanium loaded up today.
We do.
So what was your thought on this test?
All right. So we discovered a while ago, during COVID actually, that using a different method for machining with titanium's a difficult material. Using a different method and moving some of the heat around and some of our radials and axials, we can actually prolong our tool life and actually put our tool in a stable environment. And I think we should put it to the test today. What do you think?
Typically, we're doing a light radial step over with titanium.
Yes.
What are we running? What are you seeing out there typically is being run for SFM?
Okay, so I'm glad you say that. So normally we're running a higher SFM, a light radial step over to get the best performance out of our tools, right? So what I like to do is take that 400 surface foot, pull it down to a manageable level, 220. But we're gonna take our radial from that light radial, that 6%, we're gonna max that thing out at 27%.
In tie.
In tie.
Nice.
27% with a 6 flute at 2 times diameter. And I think, that's why you're here, I think we're gonna see better results.
Okay. So we need to get a baseline first. Let's cut it with that light radial step over, that typical machining, right? And then we'll compare that, we'll wick things up, we'll wick things up. We're actually gonna go slower with this bigger step over. So the part that I kind of came up with, I wanted to make something neat, something that, you know, said Harvey Helical Solutions, right? So I did the Helical Solutions emblem. We'll cut that in a piece of 8x8, and I think this will give us a good baseline to test from.
Yeah, and this is grade 5 tie. So this is TI6AL. We're not cheaping out with like grade 2 or something like that. It's a little bit softer. So this is gonna be a good test.
All right, so we've got it loaded up on the machine. Let's push the green button and see what happens.
Let's do it.
So we cut the baseline. I mean, it cut great.
It did. That's that light radial. Remember, we're going with traditional. I say traditional, even though it's high efficiency. Light radial, heavy step over, and we're feeding it with chip thinning. Right?
Heavy step down.
Heavy step down. Thanks for correcting me on that. I appreciate that. Thanks, buddy.
So for feeds and speeds on this, we were running about 3,000 RPM, 115 inches a minute. That translates to what in chip load?
So we're about 6 thou 7/10 feed per tooth, which is about a 3 thou chip load.
Right. And Mastercam, I'm able to do that when I programmed it.
That's right.
I'm able to turn on radial chip thinning and see that actual chip load of 3,000ths, and that's what we're running here.
That's very critical to get the optimal performance.
About 400 SFM. I do see some interesting behavior on the floor here. What do you think about that?
I would say it's questionable, but the tool sounded okay. It cut well. It's probably just dragging a chip or something like that. So I'm not really concerned about it, but it is something to point out, that's for sure.
Well, let's get the part out of here.
Let's do it.
If you want to grab that, and I'll get the tool unloaded, and we can take a peek at the tool here. All right, well, take a peek at that and tell me what you think. You're the expert here.
All right, so it doesn't look bad.
Decent looking tool.
But this is typical to what we would run. This is how we would run this. But I think there's a better way. I think we can get more performance out of these tools. You got to understand something. We ran this for what, 15 minutes? When we're running a titanium, you're going to expect 2, 3, 4 hours.
So the actual cycle time on this was 1620.
1620. Okay. So now do you want to try a different method and see if we can do better?
We'll flip the material over. We'll change out to a brand new tool. Load it back up, and we'll reprogram this for that heavier step over that you were talking about. We're going to actually go down on the SFM, right?
The key is dropping the SFM. We call this HREM, Heavy Radial Efficiency Machining, right? So we're going to drop the SFM. We're going to increase the radial. It's going to look like it's running a lot slower, but the cubes are going to be the same. We're going to remove the same amount.
So do you think we're going to have a similar cycle time, or we're actually going to run faster here?
In studies I've done before, I think we're going to run faster. I think we are.
We'll see what Mastercam says.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, well, let's copy this down, Don, and we'll set it up for the larger step over.
Sounds good.
So what are you thinking for cut parameters here on step over?
Well, I think we're going to get aggressive. I think we go 27%. What I want to do is bring the surface foot down, right? Take care of that heat and get all of our MRR out of the radial.
All right, so we were at 400. You're saying you want to bring that down. And I'm going to shut off radial chip thinning for this one.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go 220 surf.
All right.
So that is going to get us, I think, a lot less built up edge because the heat at the cutting edge should be less.
Okay. So we're at 27%, 220 SFM. What's our feet per tooth here?
Feet per tooth, we're going to go 2,7/10. It's an odd number, right?
All right.
2,7/10.
So around 27 inches a minute.
27 inches a minute.
All right. All right. Well, let's let this generate here. Well, I'll get it posted out, load it up on the machine, and let's run it and see the results.
Let's do it.
All right, so Don, this looks like it's running a little slower. I mean, you kind of talked about that.
I'm glad you noticed that because a lot of people assume it's running slower, but it's really not how fast the machine's moving. It's how many cubic inches you're removing.
And we're seeing some serious chips hit the side of the machine.
We are, and we are removing exactly the same amount of cubes as we were with the light radial and the heavy feet.
So we should be around a similar cycle time, or you think it'll actually be quicker?
I think it's going to be quicker when it's moving around a lot.
Less moves.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, there's the tool with the heavier step over.
All right, well, let's take a look at that cutting edge and see if we made any differences, got better or worse. Looks good.
Yeah.
Nice and clean.
Yep. So that's what you're looking for, right? That build up on the edge.
What we're trying to do is eliminate the heat, look at the abrasiveness of the cutting edge, and then just kind of see where our wear pattern comes in. And this doesn't look bad with the heavy radial.
Yeah, and I did notice before I pulled the tool out, our cutting time now, 14:20.
So we're less.
Yeah.
So remember we were talking about it looks like it's going slower, but yet we're removing more cubes.
Yeah, I mean the chips here, definitely a different look to them, a lot thicker, bigger than we were getting before.
Basically what we think is happening is we're optimizing the cutting tool, right? We're putting it in a good situation, we're letting it just eat, and you get better results.
Yeah, and floor looks a little different as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to point out. If you take a look at the floor finish on this one compared to the other one, you have a lot more burnishing, right? A smooth, blurry finish. This one looks like it's cutting.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Well, I did have one concern here, right?
Okay, of course you do.
If you're out there trying to apply this in the real world, not every part is, oh, let's go from the outside and remove material in, right? There's channels, there's various features here, and I was wondering how you think this is going to react if we kind of make this a bit more complicated, make it a bit more realistic.
How did I know you were going to go there, right? Well, you're the programmer. Let's make it a little bit more realistic.
What I'm thinking I'm going to do is add a couple little edges to the side of this, make the toolpath have to do some interesting motion. We're still going to be maintaining that step over. We're going to let dynamic do its job, but I'm interested to see if the tool life suffers or what we get for a result here.
Yeah, a couple more chip pockets and things like that. Evacuating titanium chips is not easy, and making a heavy chip could be difficult.
Let's give it a try. Check it out. So what I'm thinking, Don, is we add these little corner pieces. And what that's going to really do is force the dynamic toolpath to do some irregular motions, right? We're not just coming from the outside in. More representative of a part somebody would be running in titanium.
Yeah, more realistic. And this way, you know, evacuating chips is a big deal, and that's kind of going to see how this heavy step over works with that.
Yeah, so I'll just copy this dynamic toolpath down. Mastercam makes this really simple. Just go into avoidance region. I'll grab this top face here and this top face here, green check, and then I can preview the chains that the algorithm's going to see. So I know that it's avoiding all that, machining the rest, and let that generate.
That's so simple, I might be able to do it.
I think you could. Here we get our first glance at what this toolpath is going to be doing, and much more realistic for someone that's going to be machining a part.
That is substantially different than what it was. So you got different directions, things to avoid. I'm interested to see what it's going to do.
Let's get it on the machine and check it out.
Let's do it.
All right, Don, it worked good on that part too.
Sounded good.
It did.
Yes.
It did.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, it looks great. You've got that different pattern that we were expecting.
Yeah, heavy radial. I mean, it's the same kind of concept. We were able to get the chips out.
Yep.
I think it's a better strategy.
Yeah. And the tool looks good, but again, you're not going to really see it
Yeah.
until we put these tools under the microscope.
And you know what we need to do now?
What's that?
We need to put them under a microscope
Yeah.
and take a look at them.
Well, I mean, it's good that we're here because you guys have the equipment.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Let's go take a look.
Let's go check it out. Come on.
Okay, Jesse. So we got these set up on the microscope now. Now we're gonna prove out the whole theory and see what we're looking at here.
I mean, I see differences, but I want you to explain them to me.
Well, that's good. Let's take a look at this under high microscope. So the top one is the HREM, Heavy Radial Efficiency Machining.
So that's our big step over.
That's the big step over. This is what we're trying to prove out. The bottom one is kind of traditional, HEM, light radial and running really fast with a high surface foot.
Yep.
You can see on the bottom when we're starting to get built up edge.
Yep.
Now, this is only what, 15 minutes of run time?
Right.
We're starting to get that built up edge, which isn't detrimental to that tool. It will still run.
Yep.
But you'll notice with the HREM, when we take that heavy engagement, we drop the surface foot. Look at how clean that edge is.
Super clean. I'm seeing some little like notching up on this edge up here too.
Yep, we're probably, because we're running so fast, one thing when you run really fast, you have a problem evacuating the chips.
Okay.
Because we're spinning that tool. And so what you're getting is you probably got a chip caught underneath there. Whereas the top tool, when you run this heavy radial step over, it just cuts. Yeah. It just cuts clean. It stabilizes the tool. You get results like this, and you know what else you get? 5-6 hours of cut time in titanium.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, you talked a little bit about chips, and I brought some of these.
Yep.
I brought some of these guys over. So that is the chip from the HREM, you know, that big step over.
Yep.
And these are the chips from that lesser step over. Now, you know, I immediately see the difference here, right?
Yep.
But can you explain why we're getting that finer chip and like the more twist to the lighter step over?
Well, one thing that's great with titanium when you're cutting titanium is it curls the chip really tight.
Yep.
Which is one of the reasons we can take a heavier step over and still evacuate the chip with a 6 flute. What you're getting here is that rake angle on the end of the tool is just curling that chip really quick. It's putting a lot of heat in that chip. It's putting a lot of heat on the cutting edge, and you're getting a really tight curl.
Yeah.
We can maintain that curl with a heavy radial. We can put more heat into the chip, evacuate it, even though it's titanium, and we get really good results.
Because I have to imagine, because that chip is larger, you've got more mass to that chip, right?
Yes.
So it can actually store more heat on its way out.
100%. And the end result is a clean cutting edge, more tool life, more cutting time, and the same MRR on both of these tools.
That's what it's all about, right? Getting those cubes off the part.
And I think we reduced the cycle time on the heavy radial.
There was a slight reduction there.
Absolutely. Great results. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy it proved out what we thought in theory.
What we thought, what you knew.
What we thought in theory.
It's great that you guys have the equipment here where we can see that. I know you've seen some of these results out in the field, but to test it in a lab environment really proves the theory.
Well, one thing, if I can give a little plug, is we have an incredible innovation lab here at Harvey Performance. The things we're doing are testing these types of things in the lab, different materials, titanium, stainless steels, so we can get these results, prove it out in the lab before we even put the tools on the shelf.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me in today,
Thank you,
Don.
man. It was great.
Awesome.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome.
You bet.